I just found what I believe to be an old mine entrance that I had no idea was here. I found a a new trail off one of the paths that lead to really not anywhere. And as far as I can tell, this one doesn't lead anywhere either, but here's the sinkhole, you could call it, that I found. There's a lot of rocks around it and it's really mounded up. We have a few of these across Travis's place and my place. This one looks a little different because it's got a lot of rock put into it. So I don't know if this is an old mine entrance that they closed up by throwing rocks into and just left, or what. But this is a big mound. It's probably 25 feet across. The hole itself doesn't go that deep. Probably, well, if I stood in the center, it'd probably be up to my head, but it's kind of interesting, the things that you find out here. I'm trying to widen out this path because I had no idea that there was a path or an old trail even here. You can just tell because it's the route that the cows take. So there's a cow trail down there, you can see it. But the thorn bushes just didn't grow in here, and usually that's a sign that, you know, this is a path that was either used back in the day or it's a path that the cows regularly use. And I thought I found most of them, but I guess not, because this one, I was on one that leads to nowhere. Well, I looked to my left and I saw a path, so I took it, came down into this clearing, which leads to another trail which goes down that way, but it looks like it's eroded away, so I'm not going to be able to go down that way unless I cut a new path through the brush, which is totally possible. Yeah, that'll keep spinning for like the next 20 minutes, so I'm going to hop back in the JCB and keep mowing. It's been rainy. I've been mowing quite a bit out in the pasture. I've only been able to mow like 2 hours at a time, but yeah, I should get some more mowing video here shortly, so stay tuned. actually kind of scary. Well, I found a neat little surprise in one of the bushes. So now I've got to run back to the buildings and get a pair of pliers and cut this off, because I tried getting it off and I just can't. Tried pretty much everything, but I think it's going to need a fencing pliers to cut through some of that stuff. Good news is that it's not wrapped around the base of it, so I should just have to cut like 3 strands and it'll be fine. So I'm gonna head back to the buildings now. Where would I be without tracks? The rain has not turned off since we were brush mowing, so in the meantime I decided that I'm going to finish putting in that light bar that I ordered. So I ordered a 22-inch light bar for the JCB, and I mounted it. Well, I started mounting it last night, and I finished the wiring this morning. I'm glad that I didn't do a video on the installing part, because my plans changed like 5 times, but I finally got it installed and I'm kind of proud of it. That looks pretty sweet, I think. Let's have a look. Just, if you guys ever see me like in person and you're driving by and the lights are on, just do yourself a favor and don't look right at the lights. What I ended up doing for this light bar is I used the harness that came with it, and I ran it inside the cab and behind the operator's seat where the fuse box is, and I tapped into a spare fuse there and used that to supply the power. And I used just a bolt that's mounted to the chassis behind the plastic sidewall, the corner post. And that seems to be working pretty well. I was originally planning on hooking it up with the lights, but it is a 30 amp circuit. This light bar is 17 amps, and each of these pod lights are, I think, 2. So, I mean, we were still well under our total amps, but what I wanted to be able to do was to be able to turn the light bar off separately. So I just used the wiring harness that came with it, and I ran it back to a separate fuse, and that way it's on its own thing. I mounted the switch, which, if you ask me, the harnesses that come with them and the switches are kind of cheap, but I mounted it up here. You can see where the wire comes into the cab, which there's already a hole pre-punched there from a tree, which, you know, if you ever think that you're having a rough day, it's just setting you up for a more successful tomorrow, because I used that hole to run the wire through, and it's kind of unsightly up here, but I mean, at least it's out of the way. And the switch is just a push button right there. So it is wired to the switch. So when I turn the JCB off, the light bar will shut off with it. But if I don't want it to turn back on the next day, I gotta push that button. So I'm gonna run it like that, see how I like it. I'm pretty proud of it, just because I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it mounted today for how many different ways that I tried to get it done. But all I did was I took the wire and ran it up along the roof here, and it goes back into this corner post. Since it's a rain day, there's not a lot that I really can do. I mean, everything in the shed's pretty well done. There is something that needs to get done though, and that is I need to go down into the steer lot where the cows are. I need to dig out the manure that leads up to the water, because the cows have been walking up onto that cement, and where the dirt meets the cement is all eroded away. And I mean, even looking at it from my perspective, I was thinking it'd kind of be hard for me to walk through that and get up to the water. So I'm gonna try to dig out any manure that I can that's right there and backfill it with 3/4 inch road gravel. kind of similar to what I did in the barnyard. To me, that seems like it's been doing all right. So I'm gonna go grab the bucket, and since we can't go out and brush mow, we're gonna fill that up instead. We're not gonna be able to get down there to pull all that mud out, but I can dump the gravel in from this side. We're gonna do that instead. At least now they've got a way to walk up into the barnyard without going through the muck, even though some of them are choosing to do so. I'm probably gonna have to come in this summer and once it dries up and actually pull out a lot of this dirt and replace it with gravel. But I did what I did for right now. I mean, I couldn't go in there and get all that out. I tried, didn't work. So just went with what's gonna solve the problem for now. But built it up a little bit, pushed a lot of the water out. A lot of this is mostly just a drainage problem. After feeding the calves right there for so long, we gradually had to build it up, but it's been such a wet spring, and the fact that I had let the cows out into the steer lot, this just eroded right away. But at least now I don't got to worry about them not being able to get any water. At least they figured that one out. Looks like it's actually helping more than I thought it would. But it just needed to get compacted down, and walking on it was the solution for that. I wish I could do more, but it's just too wet. That's just another job that's going to need to get done this summer. But I'm sure you guys will be seeing more on me showing how bright the light bar is once I can actually get out there and do stuff, brush mowing this summer, whatever else. I'm sure I'll be using it after dark, so stay tuned to see how bright that is. But hopefully it dries up to where we can start planting, because we only have planted what we got done that first day or two, and that wasn't much, trust me. So hopefully things speed up here, things dry up, we get some decent weather. Most days have honestly been like this spring, where it's nothing but clouds. We've had a few moments of sunshine, but I don't think there's been a day yet where it's been sunny all day long. So that's pretty much it for this video. This video is just gonna end here because there's not a lot more that I can do until it does dry up. I got a little bit more corn to haul. I've got cows to move, which we need to get them pushed out to pasture here sooner than later to ease up on the feed and take it easier on the steer lot. But that'll be for another video. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, all how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.